Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and you're watching another What I'm Reading Right Now video here on the channel. This is the series where I talk about what I have been reading, what I'm currently reading, and what I shall be reading next. It is a balmy morning on the 17th of June when I'm filming this, and I have read four things since last we spoke. Let's get into it. I don't think this is in any particular order. I don't really remember. I've just gone off what I wrote down that I had read. I finished Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. I'm going to hold it at the very specific angle that it's not going to glare. There we go. I really enjoyed this. I think this is such a solid YA to adult adjacent book about a girl who is the granddaughter or goddaughter of Death and Fortune, and there's a lot of kind of small god stuff going on in this. She is a thief, she is cursed, so she has to return all the stuff. It's a little bit Goose Girl. It's a good time. It's really an excellent book. I will report back more when I have done my reread of the sequel, which we will talk about in just a little bit. I read Dreadful by Caitlin Rozakis. This is a upcoming new release. When is Dreadful out? Oh no, it's been out for a while. It came out on the 28th of May. My bad. Thought this was too long is probably my biggest criticism of it. It just dragged a little bit, but it's a fun book. It kind of did what I expected it to do, be vaguely humorous, kind of poking fun at the idea of an evil wizard, broadly speaking, having a lot of heart to it, hand-waving a lot of stuff that was a bit confusing. Essentially, we have a character who wakes up and is a dark evil wizard who has erased their own memory and doesn't remember anything about being a dark evil wizard and has to, at the start of the book at least, pretend to still be a dark evil wizard. And it's sort of about destiny and who do you want to be and all of that stuff. I had fun with it. I don't think it was side-splittingly funny, which I think it could have been. It was just more sort of, the light humorousness, a nice time. I don't know if I would rush out and buy myself a copy, but whoever said that they hated it, I don't think I hated it. I would read another book by Caitlin Rozakis. I feel like she's an author where that style could develop in a really fun way, and this just felt, very kind of debut, early start kind of energy. I also read another review copy. I read Unexploded Remnants by Elaine Gallagher? Can I remember? I can remember names. Elaine Gallagher. This was a novella. It's not very long. It took me probably about half an hour to get through, and it's a fun story about the last human who's left, transporting a kind of illicit AI and being chased. And again, it's very similarly, actually, who do you want to be? What is destiny? Are AI people? I didn't think this did anything that I haven't seen done in other similar science fiction, but that's maybe not a bad thing. Maybe if you're obsessed with personhood and AI as a theme, this would be a great example for you. Again, similarly, I don't think this was like the best thing I've ever read, but I would read another Elaine Gallagher book. I had a decent time with it. As with almost all novellas, I expect I would have loved this even more by audiobook. That just tends to be how it goes. And the last thing that I finished, that I'm counting as one entity, though it is technically I think 5 books and then some books that don't exist yet. But I did a reread of all of Heartstopper. This is going to be for Overbooked because I own volumes 1 to 4. 1 to 5 are out, and I think we are waiting on 6 still in terms of publication. But I decided to just go ahead and read the original webcomic on Tapas is where I read it. I'll link it below because it is all available for free. And also then you get all the little Q&As and the guest comics, and it's just all in one place, which I really appreciated. The book editions have a little bonus stuff as well, so they're still worth reading, but I decided I wanted to be fully caught up. And I believe Heartstopper has been on hiatus since the end of last year, so I am definitely caught up now. I love this. Heartstopper is such a wonderful, realistically paced British queer love story. It's very YA, but it's a good time. If you've not watched the TV series is also wonderful. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. For an adult reading it, it's very, very, very sweet and very sort of saccharine at times, perhaps would be a criticism, but I'll get into that more in my video because I do think that's a case of I am not the intended audience for this. I'm not the person this is being written for. But yeah, I love Alice Oseman. I think her work's really great, and I had a good time rereading Heartstopper. I think I read it all in a day. I just had a wonderful little time scrolling my way through a little webcomic, and I've not done that in forever. I have 6 things on my TBR for this week, which is not manageable. That's not going to happen, but I'm going to read as many of them as possible. I'm going to start it off with my review copy because that's been working for me lately. I'm going to read The Undermining of Twyla and Frank. I'm hoping, because this is slightly lighter than some of the other review copies I've had on my deck recently, that this will be a good time. This is When Harry Met Sally, but There Are Dragons. It's by the same author as An Undertaking of Frank and Mercy, or The Undertaking of Frank and Mercy? No, it can't be Frank and Mercy. Heart and Mercy. The other one, which I really enjoyed, I read that all in one go, so I'm hoping this will be similarly enjoyable. That's by Megan Bannon and it's out in a few days? July, 4th of July. Okay, a couple of weeks. Election day. Fun. And then the other things I have to read to catch up on. My T. Kingfisher read along. I need to finish What Feasts at Night. I have this by audiobook. It's not going to take very long. I just need to knuckle down and get to it. This is where What Moves the Dead was mushroomy horror. What Feasts at Night is moth horror, and I'm excited to find out more. I truly am very much at the early stages of it. It's very atmospheric and creepy. I'm interested. Shards of Earth continues to haunt me. I just don't want to pick it up. It might have to be another one that I just do a little soft DNF because I don't know when I'm going to get to this when I've got so much other stuff that I'm really keen to read. I don't know if Adrian Tchaikovsky, if it's the right time for you. But I do want to read it. I've liked his other books. I just don't know if my brain is in the right spot. Painted Devils is the sequel to Little Thieves. That I need to purchase in order to read it, so I'm going to get the ebook. I will check if my library online has it first. I don't want to have to go physically to the library. There's no time this week. But I do want to get to that kind of as quickly as possible. I'll probably read that immediately after finishing The Undermining of Twyla and Frank, just because I want to give that the best shot before I forget everything that happened in Little Thieves. Another one I might need to purchase, Geekerella by Ashley Poston. I'm doing a reread of all of those kind of fairy tale fandom books to see how I feel about them now a few years on for Overbooked. And Geekerella is the first one, and I think it's the only one of them that I don't own. I will have to go downstairs and double check my shelves, but we'll see. And I will be doing a reread of Far Wilder Magic by Alison Saft. This has been on my shelves for a while. I read it one time and then forgot everything about it. So this is a reread, but it's kind of reading it for the first time. If I remember correctly, this is a magical hunt, and we have a shooter and an alchemist, and it's a little romance. It should be a nice, cute time. There's a lot of cute, nice things on the list for this week. No new books on the shelves for me this week. I have pre-ordered Lena Norm's new book, which is a self-help kind of non-fiction, which is unlike me, but I love her so much and her advice has been so wonderful, but that's not out until much later in the year, I believe. But that's called Half-Assed Human, so I'll let you know when that arrives if I think it's any good. As someone deeply unqualified to review self-help, we'll see. I want to talk about 3 books that are new in the next week and a bit or so. Cautious Traveller's Guide to the Wastelands is out this week in the UK. I already have a review up for it from last week if you want to go check that out. Thank you to everyone who has enjoyed that video already. Echo of Worlds by M.R. Carey is out. This is the second book in the Pandemonium series. I read the first one, which is called Infinity Gate, I want to say. I read that ages and ages ago and I did enjoy it. It's a bit of a slog, and I know, based on how I'm feeling about the Adrian Tchaikovsky, now is not the time for me to pick up a bit of a slog sci-fi, so I'm leaving it where it is for now. Maybe I will read it when it comes out in paperback. We'll see how I feel. But that is out now if you were interested in that. Unexploded Remnants, which I already mentioned, that comes out on the 25th, I think? Yeah, 25th of June. So if you want to check that out, you can also have a go with that one if AI is your thing. It's been a relatively chill week otherwise. Have been doing very little. I've been enjoying what sunshine we have had. It's been very rainy, so I've been soaking it up where I can. I've been doing a lot of pondering of projects and travelling. It's a lot of going into London for work, so that's what I've been up to. This week promises to be no different. It involves a lot of the same stuff as it usually does. I will have my Patreon live stream on Wednesday where I want to talk about some upcoming projecty things that I want to work on. So I hope to see you there if you're a patron. And yeah, I probably ought to stop because I've got to film a difficult review next that I don't quite know how much waffling there's going to be. So I should probably do a little pause, get my thoughts together, and then film that. What have you been reading? What have you been up to? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're commenting, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It makes me feel loved and appreciated. You can also come hang out on Discord where we have chill chats about books. I'd like to say an enormous thank you to all the ghosts who haunt me over on Patreon. They support the channel and in return get early access to videos, bonus content, live streams, and more. If you'd like to join their number, that's linked below as well. Thank you so much to you for watching. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. It's gonna be some bloopers now. It might have to be another one that I soft DNF for now. Ooh, shush. Emails. And it's behind me somewhere, I think. Yes.